I just think it's so powerful, the difference that people can make in others' lives. So what I want to kind of start to talk through, we've talked about a lot of like specific stories. This is so helpful. We want people to know like it's possible to start an organization. Like this may be something where you're saying, I want to do this, but it's possible to start an organization when you care about something so much. We also see people who, set aside a lot of money that they want to give to organizations in the future or every year. That's just part of something that they want to do. So I kind of want to start to kind of tie this in with like financial planning, but also like the what's possible. So we're going to really get into some of the details if you are someone who likes to give, because Shelly, I think you have a lot of knowledge for people and wisdom in how to give well, how to know who you're giving to. So you'll share a lot of that. This can be a useful financial planning tool that also achieves your goals. So I want to touch a little bit on like what charitable giving looks like in financial planning and give people a couple of examples. One, and this just kind of helps, I know people who want to give to the organization. So it's kind of like, okay, just think, when you're making an impact, there's ways to do it. First, we even had like a client meeting yesterday, and this client was going to have some stock options from their company so this company's value is increased in value. So they're going to have a big taxable gain. And I know a lot of people, like when you're dealing with your finances, you're kind of like, oh, I'm going to have these taxes to pay, but you have this large gain. And one of the things, so they're thinking that in their mind. As an advisor, I'm thinking, but there's so much we can do, because if they like to give and want to give to organizations, you can pair that in the year that you might have these large gains, and then you kind of neutralize the taxes that you're going to pay by giving to organizations. You have these gains, and so the tax impact of that can work in your favor. So not necessarily kind of like, oh, how can I, save in taxes, but some people are really motivated because they want to help others. So that's a great example of how you can use like a gain just from, something that you've been given. Another way is, people who are now kind of in retirement, and once you turn 70 and a half, you can actually use the money that you have to take from your retirement accounts. You have to take this money out. And when you do, you pay taxes on it. But if you don't need these funds and you want to give them to organizations to help to make an impact, those funds that you give directly from those retirement accounts are actually not taxed. So you don't pay tax on it, and it's going to a great cause. So those are qualified charitable distributions that you can give from these accounts. So this just gives people a really good idea of some ways that they can save money in taxes, but ultimately they're achieving the goals they have. So when we talk about this, so if someone's saying, yes, I want to give money because I'm in these examples, what are some things that you would kind of tell people, like how to research, what to look for? Because some people just aren't aware of the organizations that are out there like yours. So where would you even, say how to get started in looking for who to give to?
So personally, I just believe it's so important to support charities that have a strong local team on the ground overseeing all of the work and the projects. Mm-hmm. I think that frequent communication with that team is essential just to keep a pulse on everything that's going on. So for us, that looks like, we're traveling to Ghana several times a year. So we are frequently on the ground, but then we have an incredible team of local Ghanaians that we work very closely with, who are executing and overseeing and have a role in doing their piece while we're not there. And then talking, reporting, sharing, bringing to us everything that they're seeing and noticing, pictures and videos. I just think that an organization that has that relationship with the local people and are working with them to understand what their needs are, where they are coming from, how their culture impacts their life and their decisions and their goals. I just think that to me is a really important piece, is finding a charity that's something that's important to them too. I personally also think, just from the work that I've seen done, charities who make part of their focus on educating people on the work that they're doing. So instead of just giving aid, if they can empower the people with knowledge, with information as part of the help they're receiving, I've seen that to go such a long way, especially in Ghana. You know, we just see a lot of wells that were drilled by charities where they came once, they trained the local people on what to do, and then they left. And what's really hard is when you train the local people one time, it's just not enough. They need ongoing support. They need ongoing training. They need ongoing tools. They need money to continue to fund a lot of these projects. And so there's just a lot of aid that's being just dropped off, given, done, which is amazing. But I think where the power would come in is on that follow through. And so having that local team there and that constant communication, just making sure that all the kinks are kind of ironed out and that the people are empowered to do some of the work that they've been trained to do, and that you're getting impact from the local people. And it's not just coming from ideas that we might have in the States.
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion.